how to use color grading tab in Lightroom. So to do that, let's add a photo. So I'm going to go to one of my photo and click this photo, for instance. Now we imported a photo. Now add the photo for review. Once it's done, there you go. You have your photo in Lightroom. Now in Lightroom, recently they have added in color tab, two tabs, one color mixer, two color grading. Now in color grading, this is very interesting because it's almost look like one of the tool in video editing, which is very useful in the photography too. So I'm going to show you how to use it. In color grading tab in Lightroom, you have this button which shows midtone, shadow, highlight with a color wheel. And each wheel has an independent slider. Then you have blending and balance. Now you can use them as it is like that, or you can select independently each of them. Whatever is useful for you. It doesn't change anything. Now this one is the global change. So what is global change? We're going to start from the global change and go backward. In global, let's move anything, right? So let's just go. What it's doing, once you touch it, there's a little round thing. So it's changing globally. When I say globally, the shadow, highlight and midtone of this image and changing to anywhere you move. So if you move it further, it gets more saturated, middle, neutral, more saturated, neutral. So let's go all the way to up and show you the global change. So now you are using the color of the color wheel in everywhere. Shadow, highlight and midtone. Now you can do that and then control the luminosity of the color. So you can push it up, pull it down. Usually you don't want to use that except you want to use like a kind of creative color filter, or instead of white balance, like you have the tint, you have the green tint or pink tint, you could use that. The same works for the white balance. So that's one of the function, but you have independent section, which is the fun part of this tool. So I'm going to right click and reset global and show you independently. So instead of going one at a time like that, I'm going to show you this because it does the same thing, just you have all of them in front of you, which I like because I get to see what is going on. Now, what is highlight? Highlight is, let's say, the sky here. The sky is the brightest part of the photo. So that goes to the highlight department. So I want to change the highlight to, for example, blue or teal blue. Now you can change it by moving the wheel anywhere you prefer. So I'm going to stop at somewhere teal blue. And you can control the luminosity of that department as well, which is pretty amazing. So you're doing two things at the same time. You are reducing the highlight while adding some color in the highlight department. Pretty freaking awesome. Now I'm going to show you before and after, but I'm just going to pull it backward a little bit because I need a little bit of punch. Before and after. I don't need that. Now, the midtone is usually somewhere here, like the white wall, or somewhere in the edges over here. So that's the midtone. So click the midtone. What I want in the midtone to have a little bit of orange. So again, you can change it anywhere you prefer. So I'm going to stop at somewhere in the orange department. And you can add some light or reduce the light. Whatever you prefer, I'm going to add some light instead. In fact, I'm going to add light here, and the highlight, I'm going to reduce the light. Now, in shadow, I'm going to stay in red department, but instead of going to orange, I'm going to go somewhere in the pink. And I'm going to add some light in the shadow department. Now this is glorious how powerful this color grading is. So you can add some beautiful film look, an awesome old school vintage look in your photograph just with color grading. Now I'm going to show you before and after. So that's before everything, after, and it looks just filmic, cinematic. Now, what is the blending? So I'm going to show you what it does first, then I'll explain you exactly what it does. So I'm going to go all the way to 100, and there is a change that you've seen. Now I'm going to go all the way down, and there is a little change. So now, blending doesn't do much unless you have a specific color. So what I mean, let's say in Midtone, you went to green, shadow, you went to green, but the highlight, you went to other color. So blending kind of emphasize on which direction you want to go more. But in this case, we have complete different look. Therefore, blending is not doing much because we already did a good job at the very beginning. That's very important, guys. Now, balance, I'm going to show you what it does. So I'm going to go all the way to 100, and looks like it became a little bit teal blue, which is in the highlight department. Remember? Now, if I go backward, looks like now highlight became the same as midtone and shadow. Remember the global? So it basically became global in one direction or another. So balance is basically trying to find a balance between all three, midtone, shadow, and highlight. So you decide which department you want to emphasize more. Suppose after doing all three changes, you still don't like it, like you want to make a little bit of change, emphasize a specific color to midtone, shadow, or highlight. Instead of going all over and changing everything, you can just click balance and then move it forward or backward, wherever you prefer. This is how you use color grading in Lightroom. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, and most importantly, you can go to share and change your edit custom setting and save this preset if you like, or any preset, just as a quick tip. So I hope you like this tutorial. If you do so, please do like, please do subscribe, and I see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.